All right, guys, so check this out. I want to talk a little bit about marketing. I came up with this idea about a week or two ago, and it's been something that I've been trying to help people with in the knife community specifically, but if you make a product, no matter what you make, this could be helpful, and this could also be helpful to people who are already successful. Sometimes people do the right things, but they're not completely zeroed in on why. Now, why would you listen to me about marketing? I've done a bit of marketing over the years, and I'm not here to tell you that I'm a guru, and I'm not selling some masterclass on marketing, and I assure you that I will not properly take my own advice. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to marketing, but I've been running a business since, I believe, 2013. I've been hand making custom products, but more importantly, I've been paying attention to people and brands that are successful for good or for bad. And I am a person who analyzes. And I'm also a person who cares about the knife community, about American manufacturing, and about my peers in this industry. I have noticed that a lot of people and brands who make and sell an inferior product, you'll know this to be true, they make and sell an inferior product for whatever reason. Product sucks. They will sell at an inflated price, and they will make a whole lot of money doing it. So no matter what it is that you make, you might undercut this inferior product and then still hear every single day, "I'd never pay that much for a product. That's too doggone expensive. You need to make a product for the rest of us," all right? And yet this other company or person making something vastly inferior charges more money and is selling as much product as fast as they can make it. There has to be a reason. I've known so many people who were frustrated by this, and I think I have it figured out. At least partially. So hear me out here. I'm speaking to knife makers, and basically all of my friends are knife makers. I mean, for the most part, knife makers, knife people, not even just outdoorsmen, mostly knife people, okay? Knife specific. And I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a knife maker and talked to them about why they make knives, and they will say morally the best thing that they can say. I love knives. I want to make practical and useful knives and I want to sell them at a price that the regular guy can afford. When it comes to price, I'll tell you right now that the average person is their own worst enemy. I have the exact same drive. I have the exact same desire to keep prices as low as possible. But what I'm here to tell you is that if that is the reason that you're making knives or a product, you are doing yourself a massive disservice, because the narcissists, the psychos, and the suits don't care about any of that. They are here to make money, and the narcissists are here to inflate their own ego. So what that means is they don't put limitations on themselves. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't limit yourself, but what I am saying is this is what you need to do. Saying that you want to make a good product that is affordable for the average guy as a custom knife maker, making knives in your shed, in your basement, in your garage, in a small shop. If this is all that your goal is for marketing, there is nothing worse that you could do. So what I want you to do is answer this question: why should I buy your knife? So let's say your knife costs $300. You're a custom knife maker. Imagine whatever size you want, this big to this big. Let's say it costs $300. You will hear every single day how you're charging too much. And it doesn't matter, stop it, dogs. If you're a hobbyist or you're making a living this way, it doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter what you make it out of. It probably needs to cost about $300 starting out. I know we can get lower than that, but why should I buy your product? If you cannot answer that question, your marketing sucks. Because so many knife makers are relying on a belief that their style will sell itself, or their personality, which can get a lot of people a long ways. You should buy a knife from me because we are friends, because I'll be friends with you because you're putting food on my table. That does not work. People do not care about you. A small group of people will, but you cannot be friends with everybody, and you cannot get everybody's sales that you need to get because they want to put food on your table, because no matter who they buy from, they can view that as putting food on somebody's table. So that is the wrong answer. Why do you make knives, and how? If you want to make the hardest knives with the thinnest edges, if you want to make the softest knives with the thickest edges that are the biggest, if you want to make knives that are inspired by fantasy, that look like they belong in Lord of the Rings, if you want to make the ultimate survival knife, these are what your answers should be. So take a look at these people that you know. If you've been in the industry, you know somebody like this. You look at their knives and you're like, how the piss are these guys selling? Well, they are telling people why people should buy their knives, and they're harping on it constantly. Many of these people are not being honest and truthful. Here, if you actually have a conscience, is how you work with that. You can either tell people why your knives are the best, or you can tell people what is the most important to you, and then build a story of how you are striving to get to that point. So I will downgrade often my own product, my YouTube channel, all of this, to undersell because my product should sell itself. And the last thing I would ever want to do is be presumptuous when I am advertising myself, because I'm not a freaking psychopath. And these people who are faking it till they make it, who are lying to get sales, who will tell you anything to make that buck, they don't have that block on their own. They're not their own worst enemies, and a lot of them, it works for them, okay? So I will undersell. I don't want to be presumptuous. But what I can say, I can't say, listen, this is the best knife in the world. It is the most bushcraftiest, lightsaberiest, unbreakablest knife that will ever be made. And this, I can't tell you, this is the only knife that you will need with the grid. It goes down a long term, brother. I can't tell you that crap, right? Because first off, it's not true. The whole thing is silly. People are cashing in on that because it works, because that's what people are looking for. And a lot of the people that are looking for this don't have any education, don't know any better. And the key point here, will never know any better, because they're going to put that knife in a shelf. But I can't do that. Other people can. You've seen on this channel, I've smoked some people who made some pretty bold claims that were pure marketing. There is no such thing as, oh, it's not a lie, it's just marketing. No, a lie's a lie. All right, so let's be honest. And if you're watching this, you probably have the same things holding you back as I do, not being willing to lie. So tell them what you want. All right, I believe that this is one of the most practical designs in the bushcraft and survival and everyday carry market, for being comfortable to carry every day, and being incredibly versatile, and for not having any details that hinder performance. All right, we're coming in at 4 to 5 ounces, a lot of practical colors. No questions asked, lifetime warranty on standard options. Okay, so as I'm working up what it is that was the inspiration behind this knife and why I truly believe in it, I can tell people what I'm working towards. I'm working towards making the most practical bushcraft knife available on the market. And what makes it practical is how easy it is to carry this thing in your pocket and then to go out and do anything with it. If you find yourself in a survival situation, and this is the only knife you have, you're going to be in an awfully good situation. Okay? So, I believe in these knives. I beat on these knives. And so every single post that I do should be harping on what this knife is and what I want people to view, or what I want people to view it as. Let's try and avoid absolute marketing. Let's keep it honest. But you've got to choose a brand image and lean into it constantly. So when people look at specific knife brands, there are knife brands out there that say they are the best extreme use knife brand in existence with the best warranty. They're not. They simply aren't. But they harp on it constantly. It's all over the place, and there are a lot of people, when they latch on, when they start looking for a hard use knife, boom, they go to X brand. ESEE harps on their lifetime warranty. I personally think that ESEE had a big part in revolutionizing the whole industry using their warranty. Okay, Miller Brothers did their whole thing with their crazy knives with a lot of testing. Maybe a lot of it was silly. Maybe a lot of it was not. I don't think they still really hold that brand image that they worked so hard for back then. However, it got them to where they needed to be and where they are now. So the issue here is, if you don't have that, if you can't tell someone why they should buy your knife, why it makes the most sense, why your knife is the one that they should buy, and if you don't market it constantly, random people won't ever know. And once you have this dialed in, you repeat it. You repeat it and you repeat it. You do maybe some type of promoted ads, or you get other people to repeat it. You do whatever you do. You lean into this all the way. Montana Knife Company, only company somehow that can, or one of the very few that can advertise on Facebook, being that their product is against all of Facebook's policies, and they will lie and act like they're being repressed when they're the only ones allowed to advertise. But they're constantly harping on the Brokeback Mountain marketing. Come be a rancher and look at my butt in these tight, skinny jeans as I hop onto a horse with a knife awkwardly placed on my belt. Montana. Horses. Cattle. Cowboy. Lasso. Okay? Constantly harping on it. It works. Now, they get some extra benefits in this industry that you won't get. But again, it's the constant bringing of people's attention back to how you want them to view your brand, harping on it, and then then at a point, if you can make someone fantasize about using your product, the product is most likely sold. And I'm over here selling this knife for $205 with my Cerakote and my options that I offer and stuff. They go as low as about $170 through any knife retailer that you go to. Knives Ship Free, DLT Trading, Smoky Mountain, whatever. About $170. And people will still talk about how it's too expensive. Brain fart. People will still talk about how it's too expensive, but nobody cares that Benchmade is asking $400 for a little bushcraft knife and S30V or whatever, and then they're donating their money to the Democrat Party. Nope. Every gun shop you go to, they're going to be in there. And how many people, it's become more popular recently, but how many people are really online being like, bitch man overcharges for their knives? Nobody cares. Nobody cares how much it costs. You go into Cabela's and prices are 50% higher than what you will see anywhere else. Does every customer that goes into there sit there and about the prices? No. They see those prices and they think that that's what stuff costs. But you have to sell the fantasy, do it honestly, and know what you are marketing. You are not just a guy trying to make a practical tool at a price that every man can afford, because that puts you into competition with mega corporations who only have to have this much profit margin on every single knife that they sell because they're selling 29 billion knives. And the honest truth is, they can probably make a knife that is at least 90% as good as you can. They can feed the kids doing it, feed the employees, pay the employees, and they can undercut you while you're trying to get your prices as low as possible, and you're still working in the shed. You're not charging enough money to upgrade. You're making a business that can't be scaled up to where you want to be. Marketing, guys. A bunch of my ads on Instagram are for marketing agencies. This one always comes to mind. He's like, hey, you're focusing too much on the product. And then he's like, come look at me and my marketing team and we'll sell your crap. No problem. Don't worry about having a better product or spending more money on improving your product. Just pay us more money and we'll get you sales and you'll get money. It sucks. It's partially true. I'm not telling you to go pay these people. What I'm telling you to do, get zeroed in. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I hope that you have a blessed day.